A little bit heavier than they dealt with obviously in boot camp. And we start slow in the fleet. We want to go, in 50 minutes, we're going to go 3 miles and then a 10-minute break every hour. Here, the first hike is obviously only 1 hour, it's 3 miles, but we'll start off like 2.6 miles, and obviously we go the same route back, which means downhills like this, and that goes naturally quicker. Anyway, also do some communication practice, the first aid, land navigation. They'll do the classrooms. As a matter of fact, they'll come to this classroom right here, and the students get their classes. So the hike, the 3-mile hike, for example, it starts at 06. We're done by 7:15. And you think, oh yeah, hard part for the day is done for these young Marines, right? No. They put their packs away and they come to this classroom and they'll break down in 2- and 3-man teams, and then they go right back to these hills out here and do land navigation. So very, very busy. They don't get rides to the different ranges, and we'll talk about that. Some of the Marines, the Colonel and myself, we talk to the honor grads on Mondays for lunch in the chow hall, and almost every single week the Marines will say, we need more PT, or we want more hikes. And I'm like, were you driven anywhere for the last 2 days? I mean, they walk everywhere. So it's always amazing to me. But again, and I don't want to get too much forward. Anyway, so, and also by Sunday they'll do the first test. So they only been here Tuesday afternoon to Sunday, they'll only take the first test here. In week 2, they'll go out to range 314, which is over the hill. And they'll spend about a week there, and they'll do they don't have the personal weapons right here. They'll do the personal weapons, day fire, night fire with the lasers, the PEC 13, 16, whatever they call them now, at night, and they're actually learning how to use it, which is huge. As a matter of fact, the honorman, the company honorman today, yesterday when I talked to him in the chow hall, he goes, he really liked how here during the live fires we have 1 instructor per 2 Marines firing, and so the Marines can learn how to use the weapons. We just made that change from 1 to 4 to 1 to 2, and here's a Marine saying how good that is. So, they'll also shoot the medium machine guns, the 240 Bravos, and they'll shoot the practice 2 or 3 rounds. It's all week long, and they'll by week 3 they'll go even further out to Bravo 2, and they'll throw the hand grenade. You saw the short video. And they'll go on a 6-mile hike, and they'll also practice the offense and defense, and like with class and all that stuff, and how to work that. The following week, they come out from Bravo 2 and go all the way out to across the street right here, and they'll do they call it TOTS now, but the combat town that's over here. And again, a lot of still picture, the ECP entry control points, the reaction ambushes right here. You'll see these are supposed to be buildings, and they'll learn how to, we'll call it mount, training in urban terrain, this kind of stuff. And again, the Marines just eat it up, and I have to remind them, you didn't join the Marine Corps to be an infantryman, you joined the Marine Corps to be this, that, and the other. So this is all just introductory. And a lot of times I say, oh, I wish we had more mount. Well, that takes weeks and weeks to be good at it. We don't have the time. Entry control points, all the other things. And they'll go on their 9-mile hike, and the exercise right here is about 54 hours. It used to be 72. We shortened a little bit just because we don't have all that time for some other things. But again, the Marines will always talk about it because they finally understand how everything works together. In boot camp, obviously, they learn how to be a Marine. Here, they'll learn their basic combat skills, and they get classes, and on the radio, first aid, land navigation, the offense, defense, but they're individual classes. For them 54 hours, they're on the offense, they're on the defense, they're in the cops, they're entry control. They see how it all works. And for them, it's, I don't want to say an eye-opener, but it's because it's, I won't say elementary, it is basic. But for them, it's like, whoa, now I understand. And obviously, there's so much more to it. But they'll get that in the future with their first unit. So here, we have the top specialty schools. Now, usually if there's more parents right here, I have a good, well, we can see it right here in a small group also. I bet that your loved one has not told you what exactly he's going to do in the Marine Corps. Oh, you know? Anyone? He's got a 4-digit code, right? And he might have told you, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a 0111. Okay, throw more numbers at me, right? It doesn't mean anything because I got a 17-year-old home, and I know how detailed them young men are. They're not. So what we've done is for you, we're gonna explain to you what them codes mean and where your Marine is going next. So these are just the top schools. We got it broken down more. So every Marine is assigned an MOS, Military Occupational Specialty. It's a 4-digit code. The first 2 numbers are the field, the specialty field. As you look at the very top, 01, every Marine knows 01 is administration. If, for example, you look down here at 3500, right, the first 2 digits, and we know there's 4, 3500 is motor transport. So if I say I'm a 3500, I know it's motor transport. And as you see also here, and I don't want to jump around, but I want to put on the next slide, there's also websites right there. And they should be also in your pamphlet. And if you go on that website, you're more than welcome to, it just gives you basic information about that base. You know, where's the nearest interstate? Where's the closest airport? What things are available on that base? As you can see there, they're North Carolina, they're California, Virginia, they're all over the place. So it's just information for you, and obviously for your Marine. Let me put on the next slide when I keep going, before I keep going. Now, as I talked about, the first two numbers is the specialty field. The last 2 numbers is what exact job the Marine has in there. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go back because I use the same example all the time. For 3500, for example, 3500, I already said it's motor transport. A 3521 is a motor transport mechanic. A 3531 is a motor transport driver. And they go, one goes to North Carolina school, the other one goes to Fort Leonard Wood to the school. So it's different jobs. Obviously, I would like to have a mechanic work on my truck, right? And I would have a driver drive my truck. So it is important. And that's how we distinguish. Now, you might think, okay, good, now I know what the 4 letters mean, numbers mean, but I still don't know what my son has. So what we've done is, if you look to the rear on your right, where Gurney Sergeant Miller is standing, we have all the Marines that graduated today in different categories, alphabetized, where they're going. If they're going to San Diego at 1300, if they're staying here at Camp Pendleton to go to another school, all the different places. And next to their name, we have the 4-digit code. What MOS, what school they're going to. The big placard on the top right-hand corner explains what the 4 numbers mean. And what you do is you look at the first 2 numbers. If it says 01, if 3500, if it says 4100, if it says 2700, and then you look at the last 2 digits in smaller print under that big category, it'll tell you. Okay? So, after we're done, by all means, please, if you don't know, look at it so you can find out for yourself. Because I know how detailed our young men are. It's just what it is. And what's even worse is half time what? They expect you to know because they know, right? Like, if you grab the former's brain, right? Trust me, I know all about it. From 6000 on, the MOSs are the air wing MOSs. And and these are obviously all in schools. We always have some more jobs. For example, for Sergeant Majors, 8999. For the first sergeants, 8999. Your Marine's not going to be right now Sergeant Major First Sergeant. That's why we don't have it on here. But these are all the schools, the different schools that a Marine could go to from here. Like I said, it has the websites on there, and you should have it also. I'll give you another second to look at it. And you're more than welcome to write this stuff down if you want to. So, one of the other things that we obviously spend many hours here with every student is our core values. And what we're talking about is the honor, courage, commitment. We need to remember that every single Marine or every single person we come from different parts of the country. We have different values, different experiences, this and that and the other. So in boot camp, they start with this. In MCT and ITB, we continue on that. It's a progression. And then when they go to their first school, it is a progression. And these are all, we call entry-level students, the Marines. So this is all, I can say prescribed, guided. But if I take it one step further, myself, like I said, many years in the Marine Corps, every year we have classes, discussions on these very subjects. So it is a continuous process that is required, and obviously one of the things that I firmly believe in that we make better citizens. If the Marine stays for 4 years, if he stays for 30 years. And very, very important. So the company commanders, first sergeants, for example, they will talk to the entire company. In this case, 270 Marines. The platoon commanders, they will talk to up to platoons. 270 divided by 4, 9? No. 7? Yes, 7. So they'll talk to their 70 units. The common instructors can talk to squads all the way to individual Marines, obviously. So again, these are one of the things, the question I asked when we have lunch and talking to yesterday Marines. Again, some of them are still amazed that this wasn't like boot camp long. You're Marines, you're not recruits anymore. But that's on the flip side of that. That is the only experience they have in the Marine Corps. So, I talk to Marines all the time about this. Permanent personnel, we cannot forget that. We cannot forget that the new crowd that comes, they don't have that experience. So you can't think, well, I just talked about this a month ago. Yeah, that was last class, 2 classes ago. But like I said, I'm always amazed how, because I ask them, during some unscheduled downtime, rotation, we call it round robin, different stations. What was going on? And they have no reason to lie to me, right? They don't know me, never seen me before. And it's always good to hear that, yes, the instructor was available, and we can ask them about what our jobs could be in the future. What is the Marine Corps about? These kinds of things, which are very important, right? Because these are young men who are, most of them, first time away from home, and they're making big decisions. So it's good to see. All right, the next slide, I think it's important. I'm trying to keep it a little bit faster. How can you get hold of your Marine? I'll give you a personal story. I was first sergeant in 2-5 Weapons Company. Was it 2-5 Weapons Company? Yes, it was 2-5. There's so many. But anyway, that's a couple years back. And one morning I got a phone call. And it's a dad of one of the Lance Corporals in Weapons Company. And he goes, my name is so-and-so, and my son is Lance Corporal so-and-so, and I haven't heard from him in 4 months. Oh, can I have your phone number? He gave me his phone number, right? I hang up, and I tell my clerk, hey, go find me, I don't know if it was first, second, or third platoon. And I said, go find me Staff Sergeant so-and-so. All right? Staff Sergeant comes, I said, hey, give me Lance Corporal so-and-so. Have him come to my office. So, he comes to my office. He reports, right? He comes in. I go, what you doing, Lance Corporal? I got a novel idea here. Let's call your dad. And I had to call his dad in my office. Because they're young men, they don't think about that stuff, So dad, mom sitting at home, probably worried, sick. What happened to my son, right? Because let's say you live in Michigan, here you're, 2-5 is right over the hill. It's states away. It ain't like you can, and these guys change cell phone numbers and what else they do. So, and again, I don't want to digress too much, but when we call it 96, when we have like 4 days off, we do HARP forms. Just so the Marines understand that they have a plan before they go on liberty, especially if they go away for 4 days. And they're required to give phone numbers. And half the time, again, young men, they write whatever number they remember, and who knows, right? And I was sick and tired of it. So before they went on Liberty, I had the entire company, all right, outside. Because my office right here, and there was a window, and it was outside. And I had them use my phone, and I wanted them to call the number, and then me talk to somebody. And it was this thing, guess what? You ain't going nowhere until you give me the right phone number. Why do I do that? Because I need to get a hold of them, you know. So, you know, we can go Barney style. And I know, for me, I know I've experienced this for a long time. For a parent, it can be hard. You don't hear from somebody for 4 months. So that is why we put this up there, right? There's somebody in every single unit in the Marine Corps. There's somebody there 24 hours a day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's somebody on duty, you know? So the staff might go home at the end of the day, but a sergeant, a staff sergeant, we have gunner sergeants at regiment and captains. They will stay on duty at least 1 day a month, overnight. So if you got to get a hold of your loved one, and it's not an emergency. And again, the FRO will talk about emergency situations. But you just trying to pass some information, whatever. Call his work. All right? Call the sergeant major. That's my job. All right, call him. And I get phone calls every once in a while from parents here. The chaplain obviously gets phone calls. He passes on information. A mom, as a matter of fact, called. The chaplain just got here last week. But his counterpart, we have 2 chaplains here, Lieutenant Commander Adams, he sent me an email. And a mom had to get a hold of her son, some financial matters. And, I called the first sergeant and said, hey, and they were out in BSRNE, and I said, hey, have the young man call his mom. Now, it took about a half a day because they're out in the field and this and that, but never call. So very good information, though. Like I said, you can contact family readiness officer and the chaplain, all right? I'm probably 3 minutes over my time. So at this time, I would like to, uh-oh.